Hey guys, DMJ here. I was on Facebook a couple weeks back, and in some terrain group I saw where a guy had picked up an Imaginex castle for super cheap off Facebook Marketplace. It looked really good the way he had it painted. So I immediately went to Marketplace, and there was one listed like 10 minutes from my house for 10 bucks. I'll probably use this mostly as a background castle for our miniature war games, but this would also make a really awesome Dungeon Master screen, and I may use it for that as well. Here's the video of me painting it and how to paint it.
Okay, so step number one with this thing that I'm doing is I laid it back and we got some Goo Gone here, and I just soaked this sticker right here. I soaked this sticker, and then I'm just taking my nail and gonna peel these guys off here. Once I got the stickers taken off, I just took some cheap Walmart black spray paint and hit this guy. I spread him out here. I put a piece of thick board across a garbage can, and then I put cardboard over the top of it, and I just sprayed him. I'm gonna flip this over and do the other side, and this is moving right along pretty quick. I got the front sprayed, and I got the back sprayed. Had to get all underneath here. Anything that I missed, I'm just gonna haul around into the house because it's freezing outside, and then I'll just hit it with regular black craft paint. Got both sides of this primed. Had a lot up underneath that I had to come back and redo. Once I got it in the house, I could see it a little bit better. But yeah, I'm gonna turn this over and double check the other side, see if I missed anything. Okay, so here it is with the walls extended out. This thing's good sized, and the only problem with it is there's a breach in the wall right here. There's a piece that was supposed to go on there, and it didn't come with that. The people had lost it apparently. But yeah, I went through. The only thing of note for anybody that gets one of these is these little where everything pivots in there and the walls open up. Those have to be moved and painted kind of individually. No big deal, just a brush up and down, and then same right here on these hinges. And there's Amy back there painting.
Hey.
And yeah, did both sides. This back here. Now I started the dry brushing. I'm just using this cheap paint from Walmart. It's pewter gray. Using a brush like this and just doing the most rudimentary over brushing that you can do. You know, just dip, get most of it off, and just come in here like this. It doesn't have to look good. It's an old castle. I mean, it'll look good when you're finished, but you don't have to do this kind of stuff perfectly. This is how I do all my terrain. It's mainly just over brushed like that, and that ends up looking, once it dries, it ends up looking really good. So over here, most of this is dry. That's just one quick dry brush. Took about less than 5 minutes. Here's what the dry brushing, over brushing looks like. Looks pretty good. Not too bad. Like that. And I had a couple small issues. I used some primer, and the cheap crap primer, the 2X from Walmart, was amazing. And I had to finish this thing with some of the Citadel Chaos Black, which you might say, oh, it's kind of expensive to be using. Well, it's all I had left. It was crap. Everywhere that I used the Citadel, when I started dry brushing, some of the black came off, started coming off, like it wasn't the primer, because the 2X adheres to plastic. Apparently the Citadel doesn't. I don't know. Anyways, I came back with some exterior primer, and it's only this section. So if you get one of these, you might have some issues with the primer coming off if you don't use the 2X in this section right here. Yep, anyways, use the exterior primer, waiting for that to dry, and then I'll just hit it black, and then I'll just dry brush over the top of it, and we'll keep moving on. There's where we are. It's looking really good. I still have to dry brush a lighter coat on the stone and do a bunch of washes and stuff like that, and do all the wood and doors and everything, but here we are. I did get the parts that were coming off that I told you about, like on these two sides right here, and then on the front. As you can see, everything covered. that exterior primer. I put the exterior primer black. The exterior primer was like a brownish color. I had it from something, but it locked in everything that was there, and then I went over it with the black, and then I dry brushed again over that, and you can't even tell. It looks really good. So that's where we're at, and next we'll move on to the lighter dry brushing. Okay, time for the second dry brush, which is basically just this color mixed with white. So we'll take the pewter gray and mix white into it, and use this brush, and this one's just going to be lightly over the whole thing, keeping it really subtle. So I mixed 3 parts of the white to 1 part of the gray, and I discovered that dry brushing in here really doesn't work the best. There's a lot of smooth spots and the texture isn't that great. So what I came up with is just stippling. You can kind of see how that puts it on there a little bit. I'll show you more on the front, but the stippling gives it more of like an aged kind of look to it. It just looks better. I'm leaving some of these like gear parts because this castle is like mechanical. You turn the things, and in the front these defenses come down. I don't really care for that. I'm never going to use it. But I wanted to leave some of the mechanical stuff black so it doesn't stick out. And then these are going to be wood. But you'll see. So we're going to flip this over and we're going to do the front. This is all I'm doing. It's just that simple, and then stippling, just pushing it into here kind of like this. If you get anything heavy, you just kind of wipe it off with your fingers. It's an old castle, you know, you're not trying to make this thing look perfect. But yeah, the stippling works really great. What I'll probably do when I get this on there is just come back and touch that up with the black before I hit these brown. I mean, really, with the stippling, it kind of gives it like almost even a damaged look. But that looks great. I mean, good enough. It's an old castle, you know, that's probably been under attack or seen years and years of use, you know. So that's really all we're doing. I'll show you it when I'm finished. There we go. Now that this is laid back, I discovered there's some more of those problem areas right there and right there. They'd never be seen, you know, from this angle, but I'm still gonna hit them. I'm just gonna get my exterior primer and hit that and that. And then I noticed here, right there, a little bit. So I don't know if those are gonna constantly do that from the rubbing. I'm just gonna get it the best that I can get it. And then if not, you know, I mean, I'm gonna hit in here with the exterior primer as well, and then just hit it with some black or some gray. You'll never see any of that. That's the great part about this process, is you just go into this not caring, and it always turns out really good in the end. So you'll see. I hit those. I found a couple more little ones right through here, a little bit up there, and hit these as well, these little things on the hinges. And I'm just gonna hit that with a hair dryer, and it'll dry right up real quick. And then you just do the same process. Pewter gray, just a quick dry brush of the pewter gray, and then the white gray mix over it. It's such an easy process. I got all that up underneath of there. Hit with the exterior primer, and then because everything's base coat in black, I went over it with the black, and then I went over it with the pewter gray, and then I went over it with the dry brush. Sounds like a lot, it's not. It's super easy, and like I said, really basic stuff. We're gonna do an overbrush of burnt umber and an overbrush, which isn't talked about enough on YouTube. Everybody just refers to it as dry brushing. It's a heavy dry brushing where you're actually filling up, you know, a lot of it, but it's still the same kind of technique. It's just a bit heavier. You'll see. I'm gonna switch it up, and I'm gonna try one of these makeup brushes. This is just a makeup brush from the dollar store, and it's pretty soft, but since it's an overbrush, it should be okay. We'll wait and see. So here's what it looks like. I just used this makeup brush, and it's just a circular technique here. It's almost just mopping it in there. It's nothing major. Some of the black still kind of shows through a little bit. And it's almost like sponging. All right, we got the brown done. And it just gives it this really worn look. You know, it's nice. You don't have to sit and solidly paint all this stuff. It's gonna get washes and another dry brush and we're gonna paint some of the designs on there. So yeah, it's just gotta look like old worn wood. This will be kind of dark back here, but I did these as well. Next over the wood, we're gonna come in with some of this khaki, and I didn't even clean my brush. I do that a lot. You don't even, because you want it all tied together anyway. So I just got most of the paint off on here as good as I could. Then I went straight into the khaki and then rubbed it out on here several times. And now my brush is ready to go over some of this wood. And we're just gonna do the same technique here. Doesn't have to be perfect, can look like old worn wood. I'm just mopping it in there. And it's nice when you get some heavy areas. You get some heavy areas like that. Sorry if I was out of camera right there. But it just looks like wood. That's what wood looks like. And if you get too heavy, you can just use your finger. But look, that looks pretty damn good. There's our wood. That took me a whole minute, minute and a half. I gotta hit the back side, but I just want to show you what that looked like. And again, if you don't like some spots, just take your finger right when you hit it and just rub it. And it works. So I'm starting the banding on the doors, and I Googled it. I mean, typically you would think like, oh, that would be like gunmetal, you know, like, or like a silvery or like a shiny. Nothing I could find showed that. Every banding that I showed was black. That, like, I Googled castle drawbridges, and all of the ones I seen, the banding was black. So that's what I'm gonna go with here at the risk of it looking less flashy, I suppose. This is still wet, so once that dries, it should dull down a little bit, but I don't know, maybe I'll hit it with some rust in there or something. I don't know, we'll see. And really, this is what's gonna take the longest. It's pretty easy, you know, just taking your brush, and because this is raised, so you can just hit it really fast. It's just gonna get one coat around there on all the doors. So guys, keep in mind you can detail it as much as you want. I went with the black for the iron. I'm not doing an incredible amount of detail here. This is just basically to get it to the table. It's just gonna be a background piece for my war games. Okay, so I couldn't just leave it. These doors needed a little bit extra work. There's just all of like this stuff on here. And I took some copper and dry brushed. All of this literally took me like 2 minutes. I just got everything off and just did big circle here, because that's not wood. You can see that's a plate. And it hit those, and I hit like up here, and then I hit those, and I hit some of that stuff, and then I hit this guy up here. So we're gonna use this German tank crew for the rocks down here. I did just a little sample run right there. You might think it's close to this, but it actually should be, because the castle is probably made from the stone in the area around it, but I think there's just enough variation there to look good. Oh yeah, I like how that's looking. I'm just using this dry brush. It's a bit bigger, and just kind of over brushing over the top of it. Might hit in this black right here a little bit. Just a little something like that, a little stippling, little whatever you feel like doing. There you go, fixed. Yeah, it's gonna look good. Wow, I think I found my new favorite rock color. That is great. I actually saw this color being used by a guy outside the United States for his rocks and stuff, and at first I was gonna do like a brown, then I was gonna do like a gray, and this is like a brownish gray. So yeah, this is great. So here I just mixed a little bit of white in with what was remaining of that color for a dry brush for this thing. you just mix it how you want it. It doesn't have to be any specific ratio. You just add some white, and if it's too dark, you add more white, and you just keep going until you get to a spot where you like. Now, I don't want it to look too much like too white, kind of like this. This is all gonna get toned down if I wash this thing, which I'm not sure if I'm gonna or not, but I could tone it down if I wanted to. So yeah, I don't wanna get too near that, but we'll see. See how that's looking nice and subtle? This is all I'm doing. All I'm doing is really just picking up the edges on this. Like that. There's like nothing on the brush. I mean, everything has been, you know, I just hit it on here until there's like practically nothing. And then you're just using like the tips of the brush just to pick up those edges. Trying to get the best view here because of the light. Hopefully you can kind of see what's up. That's it. That's it. It's a nice enough. That looks great. Still got to figure out what I'm gonna do about that hole right there. I don't know if I can try to emulate it or just cover it up with something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But there's all the dry brushing for the rock. Looks good. Again, I'm considering a wash because a wash would kind of tie this whole thing together, especially an oil wash, like what I'll show you guys how to do it. It's pretty easy, but it really has some good results. And then right here on this thing, I think I'm gonna put like DMJ right there. So yeah, this is where we're at so far. Now it's time to do these two torches. I'm gonna start by basing these white. So I got these white, and then I'll show you what I use for speed paint to go over them. It's like instant flames. But I stopped right there before I put the second coat of white on. I just hit this with a hairdryer. This was less than 30 seconds probably to hit both of these, just so you know on time. If you're wondering what that is back there, that's our 4 Against Darkness setup. But I'm thinking about getting the wash done on this before I do this, because everything here needs to get washed, and if some gets on there, I don't want it to get on the flames, and that's a whole hassle. So I think I'm gonna go do the wash. All right, so I laid that back. I did the banners, just something simple. You know, it's I just based it in purple and then went around it with an antique gold. And now I'm just worried. I'm trying to decide here whether to oil wash this thing, which is what I want to do, or just a regular wash because of the situation we had with the paint adhering and, you know, this whole weird situation back there with the gears that I had to fix with exterior primer. So I don't know. I mean, I think we should be okay. I don't know. Now that looks a lot better. That's the oil wash. I did both sides. I couldn't record it because I was freezing out in my garage doing it. Here it is. It's this Winton Oil Black and the brown. And you just take a little, I show it in one of my other videos on here, but you just take a little squirt about, it comes out in like a log, like before I was calling it little mice turds. But it'll come out, you want a thing about an inch long, and then you want to mix it with about 1.5 inches of mineral spirits. That's all you do. You take 1 inch of this, a little bit less, say 3/4 of an inch of this, 3/4 of an inch of this, and then equal to about this much in a container about that big. I'll have to show you guys if there's anybody interested. But it's, I think I'll link it down below where I showed how to make the oil mix in one of my other videos. But there it is. I think it looks super cool. Had a little bit of an issue with some of the other paint coming off. Not the stuff that I locked in with the exterior primer, but a couple other areas, like down here. You can't even hardly see it, but I've hit it back again with the exterior primer. But just a couple little spots, just enough to be annoying and take longer. But yeah, looking good right here. I put the second coat on the flames and I'm getting ready to hit those. So I figured I better do this because I hate it when I watch videos and they don't show a crucial part. This is the little container that I use. It's 2.5 wide at the mouth there, and it cones down inward, but it's about an inch. It's about 1.5 inches tall. You're probably not going to be able to find one of these. That's why I wasn't going to show it. And I just described it, but this is it. And then, like I said, I'll take a little piece about this long out of the end of that container. It'll come out to about there. I take it off with the brush. I put it in the bottom here. I do the same thing with this color. So both little pieces are down at the bottom. I take the brush and I smash the oils together. Smash them, smash them, smash them. And I use a black bristle brush from Walmart. Try saying that 3 times. But I smash them all down in there. And then I fill it up to about here with the mineral spirits. You're just gonna, this is one of those things where you're just gonna have to do it. And I know it's scary to put that onto your model, but if you get it on there too much, you could take just plain mineral spirits and wipe it right off. So you don't have to worry about it. But that's that. I figured I better do what I can here to show you. But that's exactly what I did for both sides. There's this side, and just so you know, the back's done too. I had thought about just doing a regular wash on the back, and I was like, no, why do that? What if it looks totally different? The oil wash is just far superior to a regular wash. Okay, so now I'm going to hit the flames with this Zealot yellow. Guys, so check that out. It's just like instant flames, this Zealot yellow, when you put it on over white. Oh, I better get it into the camera there, but it's just like instant flames. That looks so good. And look, it's just one step. Well, 2 steps. Paint the thing white, put the speed paint over it. I don't know why everybody else doesn't use this. They do different. This is the easiest flames that I've ever seen. And I didn't learn it from anybody on the internet. I just hit it one day with this and there we go. Now that's about as fast as you could paint this thing. I mean, everything is just overbrushing and then some dry brushing. And, you know, with this particular castle, it was a toy. So there was a few minor issues along the way that were easily handled. So the last thing I did was just put a nameplate on here. That's DMJ for the new viewers. That's Dungeon Master Johnny. And I like the way it turned out. The only thing that I'm concerned about, I mean, I'm not really concerned, but is this nameplate. Because if I want this in the back of my battle reports, like as a background piece or something, that just kind of looks weird. And I mean, if you're using this for a Dungeon Master screen, that's really awesome. I mean, it's cool, you know. So, I don't know. Not sure what to do about that. All right, so one last thing that I did here was this plaque above here. I couldn't just leave it stone. I put a sticker there that said DMJ for Dungeon Master Johnny for the new subscribers, but I didn't like it. It looked too kind of cartoony. It took away from the whole feel of this thing with this kind of medieval, grim, dark look that I've got going on with it. And so for now, this is good enough. I just painted it with this dark, like earthy color. And it can be whatever it is until I decide, you know, but it could be a protection shield for above the drawbridge there. It could be a plaque where something is mounted. I don't know yet. I'm gonna decide if I want to 3D print something or get it up there. But yeah, basically this is it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you would, leave me a comment and a like. and let me know, what would you do with that plaque? You got any creative ideas? All right, I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.